Yeah.
Good gaming, ladies and gentlemen. My name's Nider, and today we're gonna watch some new play cEDH. In today's game, in turn order, we're gonna have a Krarkashima, a ObNix, a Najeela, and a StellaLee. This was game 3 of the tournament for Win a Case at the Scruffy Octopus or lapievbarbu.com. Quick reminder that I am doing some different casting options. I'm gonna cast live and then edit the video after. So you will see me sometimes say weird stuff, but at least I'm surprised about the game that I'm gonna see. Krarkashima wants to play some free spell, try to cast it, bring it back to his hand, make a bunch of copies of Sakashima so then he can roll 10 dice plus. It is statistically takes a while to play, but if you're playing a good player, it'll be able to show you what's happening and it's gonna go faster. ObNix is a commander that wants to ping for 1 a bunch of time. When he pings, ObNix goes bigger and you exile a card, making sure so that you can cast it until the end of your ObNix next turn. Najeela is I want to get Wooberg to do a ton of combat step. Most probably, mostly playing a Derevi. With Derevi, she will make a bunch of she will start by making a bunch of warriors, and then when creatures deals combat damage to a player, they will be able to untap something, and they are planning on untapping 5 mana source to have a second combat step and then do that over and over again. And as Najeela attacks, she creates she doubles the number of warrior that she gets, so she's getting a bunch of warriors to deal combat damage and untap stuff. StellaLee is a deck of I know how to counter 3. She will get dropped on the board, and they will try to cast some cantrips to get to 3. And when she gets to 3, you can actually just tap it, copy the spell. Most of the time, it's going to be a untapped creature, draw a card. So they will be able to tap a creature, untap StellaLee, draw a card, tap StellaLee to copy the spell, untap, draw a card, and do some crazy shenanigan. Twisted Filties, Fealties, if you want to look for what is one of her kill line. That is one of the main kill line. So shuffling has been done. Mulligans were done. Asking for pregame. StellaLee starts with a Gemstone Cavern, which is interesting. Drops on Utawara, maybe that not that good. So whenever you get a gemstone, you want to drop something. You don't need to drop a land, you can drop anything. Sure. Turn 1, seat 1 fish. No answer. That's something. When was that played? Oh, it was the last. So we did a special event where we could. So it was after the ban. We still had one last event. This is Mana Crypt. Taps Mana Crypt for Felwarstone. 1 colorless left. Passes. No land. That is ballsy. Better have some crazy rest of hand. So sack and fetch to get a Taiga, drops a Noble Hierarch. City of Brass for StellaLee, Petal. Damn, this looks like a first turn StellaLee, and it is. So you want to cast StellaLee as quick as possible so that she gets out of summoning sickness. And technically, it could have 3 mana, so it could be closing as early as turn 2. Krarkashima pays for the fish. Dropping Bloodstained Mire will pass to ObNix, and he'll have to discard some cards. ObNix, so he dropped a Twin Flame, or is it a Sheet Shimmer? Something like that. Yeah, it looks like a Twin Flame Heat Shimmer Mountain. ObNix rethinking his life choices. Taps for a war for a black. What's that? It's the Dark Ritual. Okay. Dark Rit for 3 black. Exile a Simian Spirit Guide. ObNix. With 2 black, he will drop a Cursed Totem. Trying to actually stop the StellaLee, which is the only one that has a chance to win turn 2. Force of Will on the Cursed Totem. So, Cursed Totem gets on the board, Mystic Remora gets a trigger. Force of Will gets casted. Mystic Remora and Ob triggers. Force of Will, he will lose 1 life, so Ob triggers. He will play his land. Oh my god, that fish. Najeela going for draw. Scalding Tarn? I don't know the OG colors. Cracks and activate ObNix. Pedal. That is something. So what can he do with 3 mana? Kudzil. Bounce. So he bounces StellaLee. Absolutely. So Kudzil was a defense for Najeela. Well, it's also a warrior, so it triggers Najeela. However, the Krarkashima player wanted to be sure StellaLee would not combo off, so they into the Stupor, into the Flawlma, bounce her back to hand. You could have casted her again. Krarkashima, they do not pay for the fish. I'll have to count the number of cards he drew, but it was actually pretty insane. Polluted Delta. Krarks goes in play. Tries to cast Submerge. So the crazy thing with the Krarkashima players is that if they get a free spell, so he's trying to bounce Kudzil, or I don't remember if it's Kudzil or Yippee! So he actually made a copy, will target ObNix, and so quick discussion around the table, and it's kind of interesting. Submerge puts the card on top of your library. So he has to decide, do I put it on top or do I put it in the command zone? Let's say they were about to make him mill his commander. So as he changes the zone, he will have the opportunity, if it milled, to put it back into the command zone. However, you can force somebody to shuffle the library, and then that commander is gone for a long time. So as you see, well, Kudzil went on top, didn't have any choice. ObNix has the choice to cast him back for 2 more. But then again, he has red, black, 3, 4. Yeah, sure, he could just recast him. Goes and fetches. So we need to realize that this is the first land he actually drew. Red and something. Drops a Rolling Vortex. So Rolling Vortex, if I remember correctly, it's at end step. You ping, the player is pinged for 1. So every end step it will, don't remember if it's end step or upkeep. It will ping the player for 1, which will trigger not ObNix, and it's gonna do some crazy shenanigans. Force of Will, which is a good answer, because it gives ObNix 3 cards per full rotation. So it is kind of a crazy card advantage. Force of Will over Rolling Vortex. Oh god, Krarkashima trigger, I totally forgot. Yippee. So he'll have the copy target Rolling Vortex again. Toxic Deluge for 2. Sure. Having a board wipe is better than to try to deal with a rolling vortex, because destroy enchantment is rarer than anything else. Najeela drew and pass. I think they needed that hierarch. StellaLee once again drew and pass. They have StellaLee in hand, so I'm wondering what they are holding up on. Taps for 4 and cast Krark. Drops a Mana Confluence. 6 for a hub. So it would be nice. Najeela draws and pass. Still stuck on 2 land. So it is what it is. Sometimes you are lucky, sometimes you don't draw anything you want. Dashes Ragavan. So dashing into Krark. So it was a good idea to crash into Krark, because if he blocked with Krark, Krark would have costed 6 to get him out. And at that point, 4 land, no mana artifact, he would not have blocked with Krark to even think about losing it. So it was a nice move. Maybe still wondering about the StellaLee. Oh god. It's of Harmony or so he whenever something of one of his creatures triggers, it triggers twice, which means that when he casts, he will get to dice roll to see whatever he does. So it's technically another Krark on board. So you were seeing him roll 1 dice. Now he's gonna roll 2. ObNix being lucky with his roll. Red and red. Kessig Flamebreather. So I believe when an opponent plays cast a spell, or whenever Ob casts a spell, each opponent gets 1 damage. Yeah, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Kessig Flamebreather deals 1 damage to each opponent. Drops a Dowdy on the board. No one playing Graveyard Shenanigans, so he could steal a counterspell. So whatever happens when you're dealing combat, always target the Anas player or the player that you know you cannot handle. So ObNix is better equipped to deal with Najeela, which has to attack. So he has a big beater, so he can block. Kudzil back on the board. And StellaLee seems to not be a problem. So he is going to swing. He swung into Krark, because at this point he needs to kill Krark to get him out of the game, because that harmony is problematic. 1, 2, 3, and casting StellaLee. I'm still wondering, even at this point, I would actually just cast Ragavan. Oh, Cerulean Wisp. So trigger. Womp. Misses the first trigger. Will he be able to copy it? Womp. So no copies and back to hand. Tries to replay Crimson Wisp. Yippee! So at this point, he'll be able to untap something and draw a card. And now he wants it to fail. Womp. So that Cerulean Wisp goes back to hand. So this is how Krarkashima actually wants to roll. Of course you want to copy it, but you want to at least lose 1 so that you get back the card in hand. And that's how they are actually super dangerous. Because right now he has 2 red? So he could cast it like 3 times. 3 red. Snap targeting Kudzil. So tap City of Brass, triggers ObNix. Shows a Swansong. Swansong counters Snap. Snap goes under and Snap and Swan goes under Dowdy. So he can actually win, and he's gonna be able to copy. But on Womp, which fails, he's not sending it back to hand. So copy. So he'll be able to copy. The question is, whom is he gonna snap back? So Snap will allow him to untap 2 lands. Snaps ObNix back to hand. So the discussion was, if you have a Vamp Tutor, you could just go cast Vamp Tutor and get All Will Be One and win the game. However, on the copy, can he? No, he cannot sack right away Dowdy. But it just Vampiric Tutor on the stack. So he casted Vampiric Tutor, Kessig Flamebreather triggered, pinged everybody for 1, triggered ObNix. What is that? I may have seen, I don't know, a few, maybe 100 games. I don't recognize this card. That's the thing with so many arts, you can never know. Submerge ends up bouncing ObNix. he was able to vamp tutor something to the top of his library. So when he copies, it doesn't untap 2 lands. Swan Song countered. Oh, drops Ashling. Yeah, I guess I missed it. Ashling is the queen of. So if we thought, so Git probe. So every time you cast a spell, Ashling will Magecraft. Second time it happens, it deals 2 to. You dropped Varen. Sure, he doesn't need Varen anymore anyway. Yippee, gonna do a copy of Git probe. So because he copied the spell, Ashling needs to trigger first. Looting, so discard and draw. He will get 4 red because it's the second time it triggers. So at this point, he's not taking notes on what's in hands, and that's it. So the copy did 2 to everyone. So womp back to hand. Ashling first. Well, it's always Magecraft, discard, draw. Right after, it does 2 damage to every creature and opponent control, and after that it's add 4 red. So he is going to be adding some reds right now. Drops a Pinnacle Monk, so gets his land out to show how many mana he has. Tries to copy a spell. So that's what happens when he has womp goes back to a free spell. He can cast it over and over again until he actually just lose all flips. However, every time he does that, he's able to loot with Ashling. So drops Mux. Imprints Might of the Meek. Yeah, Might of the Meek. But in French. Drops a Stormkill Artist. So whenever you cast or copy a spell, you make a treasure. At this point, he has Git Probe, which is free. So whenever he casts Git Probe, he'll get a treasure. When he get a treasure, he'll be able to recast Git Probe for free. And it depends on if he successfully roll or not. I have to say, I don't know how long this game has left, but I'm pretty sure it's actually done. Discard Crimson Wisp. Womp goes back to hand. Yippee! Oh no, this was a womp. So we actually missed again. He will be able to redo it. He could have used a treasure, but I'm presuming he has a plan or need those treasures at some point. So Magecraft first. Magecraft Krark. Oh, he's starting to count Storm Count. So at this point, you know you're in trouble. Discard Jessica's Will to draw on the Ashling trigger. Yippee! So he made a copy, so he copied a spell, Stormkill, and will trigger. Makes a treasure. Ashling triggers on a Magecraft. Surprisingly, yeah, he still has not checked Najeela's hand. He is not worried, draws off the Git Probe, rolls, and womp goes back to hand. Same shenanigan, makes a treasure, discard draw. City of Traitor. Is that an Among Us? Oh god, yeah. So that player, they are making some arts on their card that is actually wonderful, which also is the womp dice. I wish he had some of these talents. Yippee! Makes a copy. As he copies, makes a treasure. Ashling, makes an Ashling. Draw this card. Cracks 5. What? So I had to double check, and this is a Mind's Desire, which is shuffle your library, then exile the top card of your library. Until end of turn, you may play that card without paying its mana cost, and he has Storm, which is a storm of 10. So the triggers are... So there is 9 other Mind's Desire, but there's some triggers for... to try to 2 of them. This Magecraft, this Prowess, makes 10 treasure. So has to discard draw. 2, 3. That's an ancient tomb. I've got no idea what that drawing is. Get Bro 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wow, so he shuffles. Show is the top of his library and he can cast it for free. Breach, LED, Expedite, Relic of Regent, Molten Duplication, Dockside. Seriously? Yippee! Womp. So with Storm Desire, he can kill the Ashling. Well, Mind's Desire goes back to end. He has 10 treasure. Storm count is now 20, so he's gonna be able to redo that for 20 and goes. He's gonna be able to exile this deck and cast infinite spells. So congratulations to Krarkashima. This is a proof that only with Krark and that doubler you can actually make it. Stormkiller Ultrist making treasure. Ashling is actually a board wipe. She is super good in that deck. Thank you very much to the Krarkashima player. They are making super clean move. Thank you very much. So this is the prize. It was a Urza Saga borderless foil. This was a wonderful final. Thank you very much, everyone. Please, if you learned something, leave a comment. I'm happy to engage with you. Leave a like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys next game.